Good morning. The 26th plenary meeting of the General Assembly is called to order. The Assembly will begin its consideration of sub-item B of agenda item 25, entitled Social Development, including questions relating to the world social situation and to youth, aging persons with disabilities and the family, to take action on a draft oral decision. In my letter dated 28 October 2025, I proposed a draft oral decision as follows. Any explanation of vote concerning the draft resolution entitled Doha Political Declaration of the World Social Summit under the title The Second World Summit for Social Development, circulated in document A/80/L5, shall be made immediately before the closing segment of the summit instead of at the opening segment, in order to ensure that the statements from the list of speakers will begin on time at 10:30 a.m. at the plenary meeting on 4th November 2025, as provided for in Resolution 78/318. The Assembly will now take action on the draft oral decision. May I take it that the Assembly decides to adopt the draft oral decision? It is so decided. The Assembly has thus concluded this stage of its consideration of sub-item B of agenda item 25. The Assembly will consider agenda item 66, entitled Report of the Human Rights Council. The documentation under this item is listed in the Journal of the United Nations. I will now make a statement as the President of the General Assembly. Your Excellency, Ambassador Jörg Glaube, President of the Human Rights Council, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. 80 years ago, the founders of our United Nations emerged from the devastating of war, determined to build a world governed by rules, not chaos. They enshrined not only principles for peace among nations, but also a vision rooted in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and worth of the human person, and the equal rights of men and women. They understood that without clear, binding norms defining the rights and obligations of state, peoples alike, the world would again descend into chaos. Yet today, both international law and human rights are under growing pressure. Some brazenly dismiss the rule of law. Others question the principles enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, including the commitment to non-discrimination regardless of race, religion, nationality, or gender. In their most extreme form in Afghanistan, where the Taliban deny women and girls even the most basic human rights. The frequency globally of such abuses is shocking. But we cannot remain passive, for passivity soon becomes complacency. Nor can we allow cynics to weaponize these failures to discredit the institutions itself that protect human dignity. The answer must be to strengthen, not to weaken, the bodies that stand for international law and justice, including the Human Rights Council. Stand for them with self-confidence, because it's a protection of our institutions, of our charter. Upholding human rights, therefore, is not only a moral obligation. It is a foundation upon which peace, development, and stability rests. Since its establishment in 2006, the Human Rights Council has stood at the center of international response to human rights violations wherever and whenever they occur, and by its work did not only make individual rights and individual people stronger, but also you, the member states. As it remains a primary intergovernmental platform for dialogue and action on global human rights challenges, but also as one of the most important intergovernmental platforms for exchanging best practices between member states, for learning from each other and making each other stronger. Among others, especially through the Universal Periodic Review, which enables member states to exchange experiences, receive recommendations from their peers, and strengthen their own human rights records through dialogue, cooperation, and best practice exchange. Together with the Council's mechanisms, from special procedures to its technical assistance and investigative bodies, this forms the backbone of the multilateral human rights system. In this regard, I would like to thank the Human Rights Council's clear and ongoing commitment. Today's presentation is again a crucial opportunity of the report by the President of Human Rights Council to reinforce coherence between the Council and the General Assembly. As the Council's success depends not only on its own work, but strongly on the political support of the Member States. Like the broader United Nations, yet it can only deliver within its means. In this regard, it is crucial to sustain financial contributions in line with their task, and that we avail the UNAIDS initiative to make the Human Rights Council more integrated, efficient, and responsive, and while recalling that efficiency must be in pursuit of delivery. The Secretary-General's efforts to strengthen system-wide coordination of human rights by embedding it across mandates rather than allowing it to be siloed or fragmented are crucial in this endeavor. And we have already seen what this can look like. For instance, through the merging of the mandates of the special rapporteurs on contemporary forms of slavery and trafficking in persons. Excellencies, as I said previously, by reinforcing the Human Rights Council, we do not only advance individual human rights, we strengthen every member state and the international system as a whole. I therefore wish to thank again the President of the Human Rights Council, as well as the High Commissioner and the whole team for their leadership and the Council's vital work. With that, I now give the floor to the President of the Human Rights Council, His Excellency Jörg Lauber, to present the Council's report.